Could you please turn the cameras on? I would like to see your faces so that I get to know you. Hello, Yusuf.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Where are you from, Yusuf?
I'm from Egypt.
All right. Do you live there?
What?
Are you living in Egypt now?
No, in Turkey.
All right, cool. The other guys, can you turn the cameras on, please? Hello, Abed.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you doing?
Can you...
The issue is I have no camera because I am using the desktop right now.
Okay, no problem, Iham. Iham, you have a nice name.
Uh,
It's okay.
I think we are in same boat.
Yeah, we are. Okay, no problem for today, but maybe next time I can get to see you. Okay, hello, Jafar.
Hello.
Where are you from, Jafar?
I'm from Iraq.
And you live in Iraq now?
No, in Istanbul.
All right, cool. So we have Jafar and Yusuf in Istanbul. Abed, what about you? We can't hear you, Abed.
I'm live in Turkey, Konya.
And where are you from?
I'm from Syria.
From Syria.
Hmm.
All right, cool. What about the others, guys? Do you have problems with the cameras?
Hey, I'm Yusuf Badruddin.
Hi, hello, Yusuf. Where are you from and where do you live now?
Egypt, and I live in Istanbul.
All right, cool. Good to see you.
It's,
The others?
Should I keep
Hello,
the
sir.
cameras on?
Guys, if you don't mind, if you can keep it on all the time, I can see your names, faces, try to remember you. Better than just seeing black screen all the time.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I have no camera.
Who is talking?
It's me, Ayham.
Okay, no problem, Ayham. Maybe you can do something later. Okay.
Hello, sir. I'm here.
Who's talking?
Mohammed Al-Nidawi is talking.
Hi,
Speaker.
Mohammed. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. What about you, sir?
I'm good. Do you have a problem with the camera?
Yes, unfortunately. I can't open my camera right now.
Okay, no problem. Just tell me quickly about yourself. Where are you from?
My name is Mohammed. I'm from Iraq. I live in Istanbul. I'm 20 years old.
All right, cool. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Nice to see you
Nice
too.
to hear you, I can say.
Sorry?
I can say nice to hear you. I can't see you yet.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. We'll see you guys, but please, if it's possible, try to have your cameras on. It's like a better experience, so we feel like we're face to face somehow. Okay. So I'm the new English teacher, and I'm going to be responsible for the English part. For a start, we'll start with the Baron's book later, but first we're gonna move on with the grammar book for SAT. But before that, I would like you to ask some questions to your partner. First, let me share the questions with you. Okay, so just for warm up, I'm gonna put you with two people, and then you're gonna ask and answer these questions. And if you try to give more details, that would be great. First, I would like you to talk about your background in English learning. So when did you start studying English at school? Did you do any other courses, or do you do anything to develop your English, like watching movies, series, listening to music, etc.? For two, what are your expectations from the course? So what do you think you're gonna come up with this course in the end before you do the exam? How many hours do you study for SAT a day, if you study a day? And do you think you would have more problems? There's an S here. in the SAT, math, or English section? And why do you think so? Okay, I'm going to put you in groups. Every group will be 3 people almost. I would like you to talk with your friends and discuss. I'll be moving between the rooms to see you.
Should the conversation be in English or Arabic?
English, definitely.
Okay.
Fatma, Jafar,
Sorry?
guys, you need to accept the invitation to the breakout rooms.
Uh,
Did you receive an invitation to go to one of the rooms? Fatma Ahmed Ali?
We came back, sir.
Yes, we have been discussing the first question only, like what's your background in English, and we figured it out together. It was fun.
It's all right. That's cool. I just want to say that if you have a problem with the camera, it's okay this class, but please try to have your camera on next class so that we can see you. And again, when I was in one of the groups, some people were quiet. So when I put you in group for discussion or exercise, it's really good to start talking. And of course, we should always speak in English.
Yes, it was fun. Actually, I liked it.
Yeah,
But,
I agree.
But the question is that all the classes gonna be online, or there are like classes in the
In
Khwarizmi?
person.
No, all the classes are going to be online.
Well, there's no. Okay. Fine.
All right. No face to face. Okay.
There's a part in the question was what do you think about the SAT or something? Like my main problem in SAT is the reading section, not the writing section. The reading
Yeah,
section
me too,
actually,
sir.
like, is
Me too.
quite hard. I
Yeah.
use Khan Academy, but it's like the question's kind of hard. I don't get what should I do to get the full mark in the reading section.
For
I
me,
know
no,
it's
I have no problem with reading, I think. For me. But
do
at
you use Khan
mathematics,
Academy?
I have
Do you use Khan Academy?
what?
Do you use Khan Academy? Like the one I'm talking to said that he has no problem in the reading
No,
section.
I mean I have a problem, but not a big deal. My reading is not my big deal.
Well,
My
you
big
gotta
deal is
use Khan Academy
mathematics.
to practice the reading section, and you're gonna find it's quite hard. It's not that easy.
Yeah.
No, I mean I don't mean the reading is really easy. No, it's really hard. But for me, I'm really having fun. I solve the reading too quick and true for the most time.
All right. It's very normal, guys, to have differences. Like whatever kind of course you have, exam preparation courses. So students, for example, in TOEFL or IELTS or even SAT, some people find that the reading is harder. Some people have the problem with the writing and grammar. In TOEFL, IELTS, some people are better at speaking, writing, etc. So it differs from person to person. But as you know, it's I am here to help you, hopefully. But you know, when it comes to exam preparation courses, it's all about you and your hard work. The more practice, the better. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over this quickly. I'm gonna ask Maha. Are you here, Maha?
Yes.
Okay, did you discuss any of the questions with your partners?
What?
Did you talk about the questions with your friends in the group?
No.
Okay, maybe you came a bit late. Okay,
Yeah.
let me have Ayham. How many hours do you study for SAT every day?
Every day about 5 or 8 hours.
What about your friends in the group? Do they do the same?
I have no idea about my friends, unfortunately.
Mhm.
I myself, I haven't settled down for a while. Like I've just come here to Turkey in like 2 months, so I have to search for a place to sit and stuff. So now I'm starting to settle down. So I just study for 2 or 3 hours per day. But now I can study more. Like I wish to study for like 10 hours per day.
Yeah, I agree. The clock is ticking. Your exam is on the 12th of March, right?
Yes, 13.
Okay. 13th. Okay, that's cool. Okay, let me ask who else is here? Is it Ala or Ala? Is it a boy or a girl?
A girl.
Ala, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Ala, do you think you have more problems in math or English in SAT?
About 2 or 3 hours a day.
Okay, but what about question number 4? Which one do you have problems with, math or English in SAT?
I think maybe in English.
All right, cool. Okay, thank you guys. Just a quick discussion. I wanted to hear you talking and listen to you. Okay, now we need to get started. Just a second, let me share my screen.
What
Okay.
did I miss? Okay, never mind.
All right. No worries. So for now, we're gonna start with go on with the new side grammar, and maybe in 2 weeks' time we can start with the Baron's book. I think you finished chapter 6. I've been told, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So we can move to chapter 7. I'm sharing my screen. Do you have a paper or a PDF copy of the book?
I think yes, we
Technically, I have a PDF file, but on my mobile, not on my
I
laptop.
haven't.
It's okay. I'm sharing my screen anyway, so you can see here. Okay. First, I'm gonna write something in the chat box. If you know the answer, I would like you to write your answer in the chat box. Don't say it loud. Any idea about parts of speech? You can write anything that comes to your mind when you hear parts of speech. Okay, Yusuf Badruddin, what do you know about parts of speech?
I can't recall what does they mean, but if you give me a question about parts of speech, I will answer it because we took it before, but I really don't remember like the parts of it, like the content parts
Okay.
of speech.
I'm gonna write a sentence. Okay, we started having some answers. If you look at the word goes, what part of speech is it? Is it a verb, a noun, an adjective, an
Yes,
adverb?
it's a verb, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is what we mean by this.
Okay, yes,
So-
I recall parts of speech of nouns, verbs, and pronouns and stuff like this.
Exactly, cool. So today we're going to focus on adjectives and adverbs. Okay, cool. We've started having some nice answers. Okay. So in the writing section, in the language section inside, you're going to have some questions that ask you a word or an expression is underlined, so you need to see if it's correct, no change, or if you need to change anything. Some of these questions are about parts of speech, so it's always a good idea to know the differences between adjectives and adverbs, because you might be asked questions about that. So in general, when we talk about adjectives and adverbs, let's take a look at these examples. Lily is amazing at basketball. So here we have Lily, which is a noun, is a verb, and then we have the word amazing, which is an adjective. But when it comes to the second example, Madison slowly jogged on Sunday. So here, slowly is an adverb. As you can see, we have an ly at the end of the word slowly. Not always, but usually when the word ends with ly, it's an adverb. I'm just going to give you some examples of some exceptions. So we have the word friendly. We say, for example, he's really friendly. So it ends with ly, but it's an adverb. It's an adjective, sorry. Here's another one. Lovely. Again, it ends with ly, but in general, let's say 90% of the time, it's an ly ending adverb. Okay. Now, how do we know whether this word is an is an adjective or an adverb, we look at what it is describing. So if you look at this example, number 1, Jane is beautiful. So we have the word beautiful here. It describes Jane. Jane is a noun. So when we have a word describing a noun, this word is an adjective. So beautiful here is an adjective. Number 2, the beat is constant. Again, here the word constant is describing the beat, and the beat is a noun, so constant is an adjective. She's a safe driver. Again, driver is a noun, and safe is describing that kind of driver, so it's an adjective. So let me write this in the chat box. So usually, adjectives describe nouns. Now let's move to adverbs. Adverbs are words that usually describe a verb or an adjective. Number 1, Jane runs beautifully. So if you look here, we have beautiful. It's describing the noun Jane. But here, beautifully is describing how Jane runs. So we're describing the verb run. So here, it's an adverb, not an adjective. Number 2, the beat is constantly playing. So how is it playing? It's playing constantly. So here it's modifying or describing the verb. It's an adverb. Drive safely. Again, it ends with ly. It describes the way this person is driving. So again, we can say that adverbs describe either adjectives or verbs. So here we had examples for verbs, and now we're going to look at examples for adverbs describing adjectives. But in general, you can know if the adverb is describing a verb by having the question how. So for example, say he is driving slowly. The question is, how is he driving? He is driving slowly. So when the answer is the adverb, it means we can say that here the adverb is describing the verb. Examples for adverbs describing adjectives: she's amazingly quick. So here we have quick, which is the adjective, and amazingly is describing the level of quickness, for example, or talking about how good or bad she is when it comes to quickness. So quick is the adjective, amazingly is just describing the adjective. It's an adverb. She is breathtakingly pretty. Again, pretty means beautiful, which is an adjective. Breathtakingly is an adverb. It's describing the adjective here. The casserole came out of the oven with a horrifically burnt top layer. So we have horrifically. Again, it's ending with ly. Describes how burnt the top layer was. Okay. This is a good tip. Can you take a look at it? Read it silently. Okay, so it is actually an easy topic, but when you are in the exam, you're confused under the pressure of time, and then sometimes you might have some difficult words in the sentence, so you end up messing up some of these questions. But you need to know that it's not important to know every single word. Just take a look at this underlined word and see what part of speech do you think this is. So you look at the sentence. If it's coming, for example, before an adjective, so maybe it's an adverb describing the adjective. If it is following the verb, it might be an adverb describing the verb. So you need to look at the context and try to analyze the sentence and look at its parts of speech. Before we start with activities, let me share this with you. So here are some general strategies for adjectives and adverbs on the SAT. Just take a look and read silently.
Sir, are you gonna send us this stuff, like the tips and stuff? You're gonna send us it?
Yeah, sure. Like if you, I think you have a link to the PDF copy of the book. Whatever I'm using here, I'm sharing is going to be sent on the WhatsApp group. Okay, so here are general tips about where you can see such a question. And then it's important to determine the part of speech and see if it's modifying a noun, an adjective, or a verb. And then since we're talking about adjectives, you might have the adjective in the comparative or superlative form. So I think you know this. So if there are two things, we're comparing them. We have ER for some adjectives. Sometimes we have some differences in spelling. And then for some adjectives, let's say we have more. And then we have EST or the most, depending on the adjective. But it's important to know that we don't have more and ER together, and we don't have most and EST together for superlatives. Okay. Let's take
I
a look.
can always drop the EST and use most instead of it, right?
Can you say that again?
Like I can drop the EST always and use most instead of it. Or should I, if the word needs EST, I should add it and don't use the most.
It depends on the question. So for example, it depends on the adjective. I mean, let's say, for example, if you say it is so what should we have here?
I can use to like it is the most hard question or the hardest question.
But usually we have to use hardest because we call this hard. It's a one syllable adjective. So we say it at once, hard. If we have, for example,
No, I should say the most difficult.
Most difficult.
so the whole idea here is that sometimes, for example, in the questions, you say it is the most, something like this. So you need to see, okay, we can't have most and EST together. We can't have more and ER together. Okay, so it's usually about the adjective, because if you look at the word difficult, can you say the word slowly? See how many syllables or parts we have. Can you say it slowly?
The most difficult?
Just the word difficult. Say it slowly. How many parts in the word?
Difficult. It's 3 parts.
Exactly. So we have difficult. So we have 3. It means we have to use most. We cannot use EST. So this is the rule. If it's 2 syllables or more, you have to use more or the most. How do you know how many syllables? You just say the word slowly. Hard, 1. Difficult, 3. So we need most or more. Okay. Any questions about this so far? Okay. You can take a look at some exercises. So you might have questions similar to this. So take a look here and then write the correct answer in the chat box. Don't say it aloud. Do we have a problem with A, B, C, D, or no error? It's E. What do you think? In the chat box, take a minute.
Sir, which page is it?
It's not a page. It's just some questions I got from the.
Okay.
I don't understand the question. What do you mean?
The question here, we have some underlined expressions. Do you think we don't have any problem with A, B, C, D? You choose E. If you think we have a problem with not many or have described,
Okay, I got it.
please write your answer in the chat box. When you write something in the chat box, can you write it to everyone, not a direct message? Okay, so we have Yusuf Khalid. You said C. Can you explain why?
Yeah, I think we don't need the effective. We can of environmental pollution as Rachel Carson. We don't need as effective as. I think.
Okay, so if you want to correct it, what do you say? Of environmental pollution?
Of environmental pollution as Rachel Carson.
Okay.
Cross out as effective. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a problem in A. Not many users. We don't need not many. No authors has described.
Okay, we'll see. Somebody raised their hand. They have an anime character, but I can't see the name. Okay, not there. Okay, so here, Yusuf, when we say not many authors have described, so we have the word authors, it's a noun, and then we have, so it's a countable noun because we have an S in the end. And then we have many, and we usually use many with countable nouns. So there's no problem with A. A is correct. So we say not many authors have described. Again, we have authors, it's a plural subject. We have and not has. And we have described, the past participle form of the verb. So we are using present perfect here. Again, no problem. Not many authors have described the effects of environmental pollution as effective as. So here we have the word effective, which is an adjective. So we need to see what it's describing. So we say, not many authors have described the effects of environmental pollution as effect as Rachel Carson. So here, if we ask the question how are the authors describing the effects? They are describing, or they cannot describe it as effectively as Rachel Carson. So here the word effective should be effectively an adverb describing the word described, which is the verb. So we say not many authors have described X as effectively as Rachel Carson. So in this way, we need to choose option C. It should be an adverb with an ly describing the verb described. Okay, let's move to another question. Again, if you think it's correct, choose E. If you think there's a problem with the other options, write the correct answer in the chat box, please. Remember, guys, in the SAT exam, you're going to be under time pressure. So to practice, just try to read the sentence and choose an answer as quick as possible. Okay, we have Rahma. Can you tell us what the problem with the sentence is?
We have a problem because clever. We should say cleverly
Why?
because we had designed it. It's adjective.
So you use an adverb to describe an adjective.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So in Angkor, Cambodia's ancient city, a clever...
So can you see my messages?
Let me check. Who's talking?
Jafar.
Jafar, you chose A, right?
Right, just making sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can see, but just Yusuf Badruddin, when you send a message, send it to everyone, not only to me. Okay. So as Rahma said, we have designed reservoir. So reservoir is a noun. Designed reservoir, it functions as an adjective here. Cleverly designed. So we have an adverb describing the adjective designed. And now we have something for comparatives and superlatives. Again, 30, 40 seconds and the answer in the chat box.
Sir, but can you please, like I had a, how can I say it? I couldn't understand the question because I thought that clever is an adjective for a person. So I thought like there is no errors in the question, and I thought that clever, like it's just an adjective, like someone is designed this thing.
Okay, but we don't have this someone. We don't
So,
have a sentence.
Yeah.
The architect is clever.
So I just thought that the clever is someone. So there is no no change.
Okay, of course we can use clever as an adjective to describe someone, but we don't have that option. Like the architect is really clever. Here we are just having reservoir, and we have designed reservoir, an adjective describing a noun. So we need an adverb describing that adjective.
If you want to mention for someone, we have to put on designer. A clever designer, I think it's more correct.
Exactly. If we had the word designer, clever would be correct, describing the noun. All right. Let me get back to this question.
Sir, can I give an example, please?
Of what?
Because like for the same that I thought, like couldn't we say like, for example, this like the intelligent created this machine?
Again, please.
The intelligent, like an intelligent or anything, just an intelligent created this machine.
Okay.
Yes.
One of the problems with this sentence is that you have an intelligent. Now, intelligent is an adjective.
Okay.
So you need a noun here that this adjective is describing, and that this article, we don't use articles with adjectives. The article is used for a noun here. So you need to have something. Can you add a noun?
I don't know. Can you please fix it, please?
Sorry?
Can you please just fix it for me?
We can say, for example, an intelligent
Scientist.
Scientist.
Scientists created this machine. And then here we have the word intelligent. It's an adjective describing the noun. And then here we
Okay.
have an, it's an article. It's a scientist, but because we have I here, we
I
have
know.
an N. Okay?
You mean
Okay.
you mean you have to use the article for noun, only for nouns.
Yes. For example, if we say he is or she is clever, we don't say she is a clever. No, she is clever or she is a clever girl. And a refers to the noun.
We have to put the noun before the adjective.
Usually, but if you have verb to be, for example, or verb like get, you say he is angry. Then it becomes, in the sentence, it is after verb to be or verb get. But in general, also we can say he is an angry guy.
Like, for example, I'm sorry for this example. He's already a dead man, for example.
Here you have a problem because we say he is a dead man. Yeah, that's possible. But dead is not, we call it not gradable adjective. You cannot say he is a little bit dead and he is very dead or really dead.
Already dead. I mean, he is already dead.
Already dead. Yes, that's possible. Because dead is an adjective and already is an adverb describing the adjective. That's fine.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Any questions about 2 before we talk about 3? Okay. So most of the answers were B. So we have the country found that its economy was growing. No problem. Economy is it. So we have was growing more stronger. So again, we said we don't have more with ER. So we have to delete more. So we say the economy was growing stronger. With an improved outlook. So we have outlook, which is a noun. Improved an adjective describing the noun, no problem. Opportunities for training. For is a preposition. Training is a verb plus ing, which functions as a noun. And we have a noun after preposition. Again, no problem. So the problem is with B. Any question about number 3? Okay. I can leave the rest of the questions. I'll show you later in the end. When I send you this,
before we have to finish, what's the point of this lesson? I'm sorry to say that, but what's the point of the lesson?
Okay.
Because I was busy, because I was at the restroom. This is why I come here late.
The idea is that we're going to start with the Barron's book later, but we're going to have some grammar lessons. So this book is a supplementary book for SAT. We use it to somehow develop your grammar. And this is going to help you when we come to the language questions in SAT. So you need to know, for example, the difference between parts of speech, how to use comparatives or superlatives, because you're going to have questions similar to this in the SAT. Okay? All right. So after the lesson, I'm going to send you this so you can take a look. You take a look at the examples again. And then here we have some more examples that you can answer. And here's a link to some more exercises that you can do online when you're free. Okay, I'll send you this later. Now let's get back.
Send us the link of the extra exercises.
Sorry?
You'll send us the link for the extra exercises.
It's already in the file. So when you receive the file, you can just click on it. Okay. So I started with that activity because it's somehow easier because it's underlined. This time you need to look at the sentence and try to find where the problem is. Some of the sentences are correct. Of course, it's always important to read the question. Directions say, using the strategies you learned on page 56, correct the adjectives or adverbs if needed. So this is similar to an option in SAT where it says no change. So just correct it if there's a need. We have an example. The calm river became wild due to the swift changing storm. So we have storm as a noun. We have changing as an adjective describing storm. So we need an adverb describing the adjective changing. So we need to say swiftly changing storm and not swift. Let's have one or two examples, and then I'm going to give you a chance to try this. I'll give you an example for number one. Although my dentist does a thoroughly job cleaning my teeth, he lacks charisma. So I need to see if there are any problems with the sentence. So I have although, and we have a clause, and then we have a comma here, and then we have another clause. So although it's fine. Although my dentist does a thoroughly job. So here we have do a job. My dentist does a job because we have he or she, so that's fine. We look at thoroughly. So the word thoroughly is similar to the word completely, let's say. Here, thoroughly is a word, and we have the word job. Job is a noun. So when we have the word thoroughly, it's an adverb. Adverb describing a noun, no, it doesn't work. We need an adjective to describe the noun. So we say, my dentist does a thorough job. So we need to use the adjective form.
Can you just explain it again?
Yes, I repeat. In this sentence, we have the word thoroughly, which is an adverb ending with ly, and we have the word job, which is a noun. Now, we said here that adjectives describe nouns, while adverbs describe adjectives and verbs. So we have job as a noun. We cannot describe it using an adverb. We need to describe it using an adjective. So if you have a question in SAT like this is underlined. It says no change, thoroughly, or any other option. You have to say thorough, because we need an adjective describing the word or the noun job. Okay? Cool. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Jennifer and Austin were awarded the highest honors in the class for their ingenious science project. So take a look, guys. Do you think there is any problem? Okay, again, we take a look here. Jennifer and Austin were awarded the highest honors. Okay, so some people say, Banan says no error. So let's see, the highest honors. Honors is a noun. Highest is a superlative adjective describing the noun honors, no problem. In the class for their ingenious science project. Again, we have science projects. So we have projects, or even the word science project is a noun. Ingenious here is an adjective. Guys, sometimes you might see words that you don't know the meaning of. You're going to have lots of this, so you need to try to have different strategies. For example, I don't know this word, and I don't know if it's an adjective or an adverb. I try to think about the suffix, the ending of that word. We have OUS. So ingenious, it's similar to famous, for example. Fame is a noun, famous is an adjective. So probably this is an adjective, and it's describing a noun, so no problem. So always remember, you're going to have lots of new words in SAT. You need to start developing some strategies to come over this problem. Okay.
So, sir,
Yes?
before I have a question now. describing what? Any words, I mean. Sign.
Can you say that again?
The word highest.
Mm-hmm.
We choose. We say it's okay. For what?
Mhm.
I mean, it's describing what? Honors or science? I just
No,
didn't hear it.
it's describing honors. So honors is a noun. What kind of honor is it? Any kind of honor? No, it's the highest honor awarded.
Okay.
So it's an adjective describing the noun honors. Do you have a question?
Yeah, teacher, I think it should be for their ingenious scientific project.
Okay.
Science.
I agree with you, but it's also possible. I don't want to confuse you, but sometimes the noun can describe the noun as well.
Yeah.
We say, for example, it's a television set. So it's the place where you put the television on. So in that case, television is a noun and set is a noun. But here, television set function as one noun together. So television is a noun. It's functioning somehow as an adjective for set, but it's still a noun. So if you say scientific projects, no problem. Or if you say science projects, it means the project for the science class. Again, both work.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Guys, I would like to give you some time to try a couple of them. I just want you to look at 3, 4, and 5. Just take a minute and then see if you have. First, we have questions. Mohammed?
So, sir, can I ask you about something, please?
Yeah, sure.
So my English is not perfect. I don't have a lot of vocabs. May I ask you about the meaning of a word when I don't know it?
Yes, you can ask, but remember that we're speaking English here because in the exam, you're going to have lots of, even if your vocabulary is great, you're going to have lots of difficult words. So you need to somehow try to analyze the sentence without knowing the meaning of this word. Just guess from context and look at parts of speech. It's fine for me to explain some of the words, but as I told you, it's better for you to start developing these strategies from now.
But sir, like, I don't mean it's about writing section. I just mean it about the reading section. Like in the reading sections depend 80% on your vocabs and your understanding of the passage. Is it right?
Yes and no at the same time. It depends a lot on your vocabulary, but again, it depends on your general comprehension and understanding of the text. And again, if you need to understand the text, you need to know vocabulary and grammar.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
Even grammar is important. You need to know whether we're talking here about the past and then we move to talk about the present and why we use present perfect here and not past simple. There is always a function to that in the reading.
What if we stopped, we couldn't understand the words or the vocabs, what we can do?
Yeah.
You need to go on, guys. You have definitely everyone, even when I do any like SAP practice, TOEFL, IELTS, everybody has difficult words because they sometimes use terminology that you are not familiar with. So what you need to do is you read the sentence, you just try to guess the meaning of the word in context. Many of these words are not going to be very important to answer the question. If the word is very important or we have a specific question about vocabulary, you need to look at the word. You try to know what part of speech it is. For example, this is a verb, a noun, etc. And then you try to read the sentence. From the context, you just need to try to guess. You can never do anything more than that.
But sir, guessing in the exam is not going to be helpful for us because we want to be sure of our answers.
okay, you can study lists of vocabulary, but you're gonna have new vocabulary. So what can you?
I have another question, and can I just? I'm sorry because I'm asking a lot of questions, but because this is the first lesson, so I just want to discuss it with you. So, sir, I have a problem with memorizing words and vocabs. I tried a lot to memorizing it, but I couldn't because I'm a practice person. When I'm not using a word, I'm just forgetting it. I can't do anything else.
Everyone is like this, Mohammed. If you don't use a word, you're gonna forget it, of course.
But sir, like I don't know anyone to use this word with, so I'm gonna forget it. And you know, I have to learn 50 words daily, and like day by day, there is 50 words coming to my mind. And when you're studying something today, you're forgetting that the thing that you studied 1 month ago, maybe. And it's gonna need time. Like we don't have a lot of time. It's just 3.5 months. And for memorizing a lot of vocabs for me, I think it's hard. So I want to find the best way to solution to just to find the answer for the reading a problem. And I'm sure that there's a lot of friends here sharing me the same problem.
Of course, Mohammed. I totally agree with what you're saying, but the problem is that like there are thousands of words, and of course you're gonna just memorize some of the words, but you don't use them. The only thing you could do is just to try to use them in one of the ways. If you have any chance to speak to someone in English, if you have a chance to get exposed to that word. So exposure, it means, for example, you read a text and you see the word again in the text. So, okay, you remember it. Or you listen to something and then you realize that this is the word that you studied 2 or 3 days before. So it's
Teacher?
about reading and listening, never more than that. Yes?
Can you revise the lesson very quick because I wasn't here? I'm sorry about it, but if I want to repeat the lesson, that will be hard for me. Can you tell me the point of the adjective and adverb, please? Very quick.
I'm gonna say that quickly, but anyways, this session is recorded, and then whatever you missed, you can just go back and check it. Okay?
No. If I have some idea, or because sometimes the recording make me mad. Sometime I'm not sure, because if I have a question, I don't know who will ask. Because at lesson, if I have something hard for me, I couldn't take anything from you. I can ask you right now.
Okay, no problem. But anyways, if you watch a recording and you have questions, of course, you can ask me the following lesson, no problem. What we talked about is very simple. We talked about adjectives and adverbs. Adjectives describe nouns, and adverbs describe verbs and adjective. For example, Jane is beautiful. Beautiful is describing the noun Jane. Here we have adverbs. Jane runs beautifully. The adverb beautifully is describing the verb runs. And sometimes the adverb is describing another adjective. Say she's amazingly quick. Quick is an adjective, and the adverb ly, amazingly, is describing the word quick. And we are doing some examples, and we're going to do more now. So you can take a look and see the answers.
That's all?
Yes, that's it. We talked about comparatives and superlatives.
You will share for us the PDF file.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
Sure. Guys, quickly, do you have any general questions before we go back to our lesson?
Sir, now we have adverbs and adjectives. What about superlative and are they together or what? I didn't figure that.
Yeah, because we are talking about adjectives, sometimes in the SAT questions, you're going to see that in a minute. So this is a sample from SAT. So you're going to see the sentences. So for example, this is number 1 underline. I need to say which one is the correct answer. No change, B, C, or D. So here it's an adjective, but here we are talking about superlative or comparative. Here it's comparative. That's why we need to have an idea about comparative and superlative adjectives. So this question is, let's do it together. Sandra is clearly more smarter than. Do you think we should have more and ER at the same time?
No, I think it's not correct.
So we have the word smart. It's one syllable, smart. So we have to use ER. We don't need to use more. So the answer is B, smarter. This is one sad question that you might have. And that's why we're learning about parts of speech, comparative and superlative adjectives, and adjectives and adverbs in general. Okay. We're gonna have general questions later. For now, any questions about what we are doing now?
About me, I studied about 8 hours, but now not all time. It's my break time sometime. I'm sorry to say that. I studied for 8 hours, 4 hours for mathematics, and I hate mathematics so much. I don't know why. And English, like describe or analyze the text, some grammar, reading, memorize some words. That's all.
Yeah, it's all right. But I'm talking about adjectives and adverbs. Do we have any question about them before we move on with more activities?
I think.
Okay.
No, if I own, I will ask you the following.
All right. Great. So guys, let's get back here. We talked about number 1 and 2 as examples. I would like you to take 2 minutes, read 3, 4, and 5, and see if there are any problems with them.
We answered. I answered them. Should I
Okay,
send
let me
them
take a look.
privately?
No. Everyone can see it. No problem. Guys, if you have answers, write them in the chat box, please. Okay, thank you, guys. So let's take a look at number 3. No matter how hard you try, you will never steal the recipe for my moist and sweetly brownies. So as some of you said, the word brownies is a noun. We need an adjective describing the noun. So we have to say sweet brownies, not sweetly. For number 4, whenever he mows the lawn, Akshay sings enthusiastic because nobody can hear him above the roar of the lawnmower. Here we have Akshay, which is the subject. Sings is the verb, and then we have enthusiastic. And we have because and another clause here. So if we ask the question, how does Akshay sings? How does he sing? The answer, he sings enthusiastically. So when we ask a question with how, we need to have an ly, or we need to have an adverb. So we have the word sing, it's a verb. Enthusiastically is describing the verb sings. So the problem is enthusiastic, the adjective, it should be enthusiastically, an adverb. Number 5, even though I understand that my comments were offensive, you should cut me a break because I only meant them joking. Again, I is the subject here, only is an adverb, meant is the verb. I meant them joking. So here we have the word joking, and how did he mean them? He meant them jokingly. So we need an adverb describing the verb meant. So that's why we need to have an ly here. Any questions for 3, 4, 5?
3 is sweet, right? Instead of sweetly.
3 is sweet, yes.
Sorry, sir. What that mean? My moist before sweetly. I didn't understand it.
That's number 3.
3.
Yes, you know brownies, kinds of biscuits or cake. So when
Yeah.
it's moist, it means it's soft from the inside. It's not very hard. And by the way, as we said here, moist and sweetly brownies. So you know that brownie is a noun, and we need to have an adjective to describe it. Is the word moist important for me? No. So, for example, let's say in the SAT question like this, you're going to have the word sweetly underlined. Okay, so I just look here at sweetly, brownies. So I just know from brownies it's a noun, we need an adjective. So if I have any problem with the word moist, recipe, matter, etc., that's not important. Just need to focus on the words that I need. Okay, I'm going to leave questions 6 to 10 for you to do as homework, just to have more practice. So I'm gonna write this so that you remember. We can talk about them next class. So page 58 is homework. We did some activities. I would like you to do 6 to 10. Okay. Now let's take a look here. We do 2 or 3 questions and then we have a break. So just give me 2 minutes of your time and focus on this question. This is what you're gonna have in the SAT exam. So as we said here, they give you a text. You need to take a look at the beginning of the sentence. So some questions require you to read more information, but usually, not always, it's enough to read the very sentence we have the question in. So we start from among the first graders at Guthrie Ridge Grammar School, Sandra is clearly more smarter. So as we said, we don't have more, so smarter is the answer. Let's take a look at number 2. Harold is the most tallest in the class. Again, we have the word here, tallest. We have tall, which is 1 syllable, tall. So we have to use EST and we don't have to use most. So that's why tallest is the correct answer. Why not, for example, taller? More taller is definitely incorrect. We have ER and more. But when we have taller, it means it's a comparative adjective. We have 2 things or 2 people to compare. Here, we're talking about the whole class. So it's a group, and we have the already here. When we have the, we need to use superlative. The in the class, so it's the tallest. The answer is C. Let's take a look at number 3. The walls are covered with creatively drawings. Again, we have drawing here. It's a noun. And we have an S in the end. So even if I don't know the word drawing, there's an S. It's not a verb here, so it's probably a noun. We take a look at creatively. It's an adverb describing the word drawings. And we know that we cannot use drawing. We cannot use an adverb to describe a noun. So we need to make it an adjective. With creative drawings, So D is the correct answer. Any question about 1, 2, or 3?
Is it drawing a verb? Drawing.
Drawing here is a noun.
No.
Yes, it's like a painting, drawing. Because here, look at the verb, the walls are covered. So are covered is the verb here. Covered with what? With creative drawings. Drawings here is just a noun. This is what we mean, guys, by the part of speech. You look at the sentence, you know that the verb is here, and we just have one verb in the sentence. So this is not a verb. There's an S in the end, so probably it's a noun. And before the noun, we have an adjective. It's an ly, so probably it's an adverb. So we need to use a noun, an adjective. We delete the ly, we have creative. This is what I mean by if you have difficult vocabulary. You look at the context, you look at the part of speech, and you try to analyze it. And then sometimes if you don't know any of the words, you need to guess. But when you know the part of speech and you check, for example, this is a noun, it ends with S, this is an ly, it might be an adverb, this is going to help you. Okay, I'm going to give you some time to take a look at 4, 5, 6, and 7. Don't write anything in the chat box now. Think about them. When I say now, you can write the answers in the chat box. Can you write the answers in the chat box now? Guys, almost the same people are always participating. I need more people to participate. Okay, let's take a look together. Thank you, guys. We start with number 4, so I would like to read from the beginning of the sentence. Again, the walls are covered with creative drawings. D is the answer. Some of them barely stick figures. Others amazingly adept. Now we need to see what we need to use here. So let's take a look at adept. If you read the tip here, adjectives and adverbs seem like an easy type to detect. However, the College Board test makers, the people who make SAT, are very adept at picking adjectives and adverbs that do not sound wrong even when used incorrectly. So here, the word adept, we have very, it's an adjective. Sorry, it's an adverb describing adept. So adept here is an adjective. Very adept at picking adjectives, it means very talented or skillful. So adept is an adjective. Let's get back here. So if adept is an adjective, so we need an adverb to describe that adjective. We have amazingly, which is the adverb, and we have adept, which is the adjective, so it is correct. Amazingly adept is correct here, so 4 is A, no change, no problem.
Why didn't I say adept amazingly? C.
Sorry?
Why didn't I choose C?
When you say adept amazingly, usually you use that form, you use the adverb after if you are describing a verb. So for example, he drives quickly. So quickly is an adverb, it comes after the verb. But
yeah, isn't adept is a verb? It's an adjective?
adept is an adjective. It's
What?
different than adapt or adopt.
Yes, I know. What does it mean?
As I say, it means talented or skillful. Okay,
so teacher, what is the answer? The answer is A, no change, or what?
The answer is no change.
Yeah.
Yes, let me give you an example. We say, she is very clever. Very is an adverb, clever is an adjective. Amazingly is an adverb, adept is an adjective. Okay. Number 5, some students walk slow. So we have walk, which is a verb. So the word slow is an adjective. No, we should have an adverb describing the verb. So walk slowly. So we have B as the correct answer. Let's move on. Still nervous and unsure of their surroundings. Others seem to dance frantic. Again, we have the word dance. It's a verb. If we ask the question how does he dance or how does she dance?
Frantically. The answer is C.
Exactly. The answer is C. Let's have the last one. Are more advanced children merely held back by the hodgepodge approach to learning, or are the slower ones pushed to learn more quickly? Now, we have more and we have quickly. So what do you think the answer is, guys?
No change.
No change.
Yes, I think so. No change.
Cool. All right. So I'm asking because I think this is something we didn't talk about today, is that we use more to describe adverbs as well. So you say, for example, please drive more quickly. So quickly is an adverb, but we can use more with it as well. So here, more quickly is correct, no problem. So where is the verb? Slower ones pushed to learn. How are they pushed to learn? Slowly or quickly? Quickly or more quickly, so we need an adverb. Okay, so these are questions that you might have in the SAT exam. For example, let's say hodgepodge approach. I don't know the meaning of this one. It's a technical term. It's a kind of approach to learning that some specific people have to study it and know the term. Do I need to know the term? No. What do? I replace this word and I use X. by this X approach to learning, and I go on. What do I need? I just need pushed to learn more quickly, and that's what's important. If I have 4 or 5 difficult words here, no problem with that. I just need to carry on and focus on that specific question. Okay, guys, let's just have a 10-minute break, and then we come back. So now it's 5:24. So everybody please come back at 5:34.
By the way, half hour left, guys.
Hello, guys. Okay, let me just put the file on WhatsApp so that I don't forget. Okay, and also which page? Page 58. Is homework. All right.
Sir, do you know where can I have a hard copy from this book?
All right.
Where can I have a hard copy from this book? Hard copy.
I don't know. I don't actually have a hard copy. I just have the soft copy.
Okay, that.
I think
Concerning
you have to
the
print it at Academy, I think.
what?
If you want to the physical version, I think you have to print it at the Academy.
Okay, I understand this. There's no any other book you suggest except for this one?
For grammar, I think this is a good one. And remember that it's not always about books. It's about what you need. For example, you see you have some problems with conditionals, like if, first and second conditional. So you just need to go to Google, just write that and write, for example, upper intermediate, advanced, SAT, TOEFL, ICE, anything next to it, and do activities. You don't have to have just a book and you go over it chapter by chapter.
Concerning the reading part, reading section.
Again, for the reading, we're going to use reference, and we're going to have some other samples to work on. But like, I don't have a specific book in mind other than that. But I think there's one from McGraw-Hill. Let me check.
I was advised that I should read more books, like random books.
What do you mean by random books? For SAT or
Like
general?
like random books, like novels and stuff. Go to the library and get one, any bookstore, and like choose any book and buy it. Like read a lot of books to improve your reading skills.
That would be good if you have time. Remember that the most important thing is to do more and more exam practices. So
Okay.
if you have time to read books in general to develop your English, that's good. If you can read more books about SAT reading or SAT math or English, again, that's good. But it's all about the time that you have.
Okay, so you don't have any suggestions for that?
For now, no, but I'm gonna take a look. I think I have McGraw-Hill SAT book. I'm gonna take a look at what I have, and then if I have some suggestions, I'm gonna write in the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
All right.
The homework, excuse me, the homework, the Excel sheet.
The homework is you have a PDF copy of this, right? The grammar book.
Yes, we have.
I think
This
no.
one.
Yeah, I got it.
If you want. Okay.
Okay, cool. So we did some of the activities in the book, and I left some for you. So on page 58, do just 5 to 10. And in the Word document I sent you, there is one activity that we didn't do, and there's a link to some other online activities that you can use as well.
We do from what to what?
Sorry?
We do exercise. We from number what to?
Number 5 to number 10, page 58.
Page 58. تمام.
We did 5, actually it's 6 to 10, so just a couple of sentences. Okay?
So we read this and answer.
You try to see where the problem is. you delete it, and you correct it. If you think the sentence is correct, just tick it.
Okay.
And
That's it.
yeah, that's it. And again, on the Word file, we have one question, and we have a link to some online exercises that you can practice.
Okay.
We'll do that in the next class, sir.
Yes,
Together, I
we'll
mean.
talk, yeah, we'll talk a bit about the classes next week at the end. Okay, last 5 minutes we'll talk more about it. Okay, you don't have to send me the homework now. You can just do the homework. If you have any question, I'll show you the answer key. If you have any questions, you can ask next class.
Sir, can I ask you a question, please?
Yes, quickly, please.
So if I want to improve my English and my vocabs, can I like buy books from, as my friend said, from libraries and like, you know, that sad topics, like passage topics are gonna be science topics and math, no, not math, politics, and I think poems.
Yeah, you can have any kind of text. The idea is that for vocabulary, you can there are a lot of books. Like I don't know any specific name that we can rely on, but like there are a lot of books like grammar for SAT, vocabulary for SAT, etc. Or word lists for SAT reading. Again, hundreds of that on the internet. And if you have an application called Quizlet, again, it's a good idea to download it on your phone and just write SAT vocabulary, and it gives you a lot of questions, vocabulary like flashcards. You flip them, you read the meaning, and then you can do activities on that.
It's called the Quizlet.
I'll write in the chat box.
Can you please
So, sir, what are the topics of the passage in that set? Like the main topics?
Sorry, again?
The main topics in SAT passages in the reading section.
Okay, I'll show you. But this is the last question I'm gonna have because guys,
Yeah,
I know you have questions.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. We're gonna come to it in time. I'm gonna be answering all your questions.
Okay.
But because we're not gonna start with Barron's now, but I'm gonna just show you quickly. So if you look at Barron's book, the SAT reading test, page 115, it gives you an idea about the types of text you could have. Let me show you here. Okay, this one. So you're going to have one passage from US or world literature, two passages or one passage and one set of paired passages come from natural sciences, like earth science, biology, chemistry, physics, etc. And then two can be about social sciences, anthropology, communication, arts, economics, etc. But the idea is that like you're going to have, always you're going to have vocabulary that you don't know about this. So what you need to do is just to try to guess from context, etc., or try to learn some vocabulary from the internet, from Quizlet, and so on. Okay. Remember, guys, now for a couple of classes, we're just gonna go on with the grammar book, and then we start with the Barron's book, maybe 2 weeks later, and then we're gonna talk about the reading, and I'll give you more details and answer your questions. So for now, I'm just going to show you a quick exercise, a general exercise about reading. Just give me a second. Okay. This is just for general practice. Here's a text. And I have here some questions. Okay, first let me put the two documents on the WhatsApp group so you can check them, because I can share the text and you can take a look at the questions. Just a second. Okay, they're on the WhatsApp group now. So one of the document is about a text. And the other one is about some questions on the text.
This is analyzing or describing the text or the topics.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at some questions about details. So we call it detailed questions. So here, if you look at this, we have 4 questions. And then we need to look at the text and try to answer the questions. I'm gonna take a look at question number 1. According to paragraph 1, the phrase ghost word was first used in the 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, or last 10 years. Okay, on your mobile phones, maybe you can take a look at the question, or if you memorized it now, I'm gonna share the text. Okay. Now, all the options that I had are about dates. So we're probably looking for dates. So this is what we're gonna do when we scan paragraph number 1. So take a look at paragraph number 1.
Can we answer, sir?
Just a second, I'm giving you some time to read. Okay, by the way, when you come to the answer, you don't have to go and read on. If you think that you found the answer, just stop there and that's it.
I didn't get what should we do.
Okay, now in the document I gave you, there are 4 questions. We're trying to answer question number 1.
The answer is D.
Okay, we'll see. Why do you think it's D?
Because they said the 19th century, last 10 years.
Okay, can you tell me where exactly in the text you found it and read the sentence?
The third one. The third one. I mean, not the third line. At 1, the third line.
Can you read it?
Okay. The ghost word in the late 19th century to explain the existence of the word that applied in certain. I think it's clear.
Guys, do you agree with your friends?
No, I disagree.
I don't agree. It's not 19th century. It means like the 80s.
Yeah,
The
I
1800.
the answer will be 18th.
Yes.
Yeah, the 18.
What do you think the answer is?
I write it in the chat.
Okay, let me check. Cool. So some people said 1800. So let's read the sentence again. In the late 19th century.
Yeah.
So first use the term the late 19th century. So let's go back to the question. And Yusuf, can you explain to your friends?
Yeah. 1 second. In the third line, he says 19th century. So 19th century, the answer will be B, 18th. 19th century is 1,800 years.
Thank you. So remember, guys, here's the trick here. So when you see 19th century, you might think that it's C, 1900s. But when we talk about 1900s, like 1958, for example, we're talking about the 20th century. But when we talk about 1800s, we're talking about 19th century. So B is the correct answer. Now, of course, maybe you don't know the meaning of ghost word. You might not know some of the words in the text, but it wasn't very important to answer this question. Just need to know the 19th century. You need to know that 1800s is the 19th century, and you can answer it. Okay.
Okay, the answer is C. The correct one is C.
Yeah, the correct one is C. Sorry, the correct one is B, 1800s. Because when we talk about 1825, 1836, etc., means we're talking about the 19th century. Okay, now let's take a look at question number 2. Paragraph 4 states that both scapegoat and gravy are ghost words caused by mistranslations, typographical errors, spelling mistakes, or reading errors. Again, I would like you to go to the text, take a look at paragraph 4, and see what the answer is. Please write the answer in the chat box. Okay, so in general, guys, in the chat box, try to write just the letter of the correct answer. So the question is, again, paragraph 4 states that both scapegoat and gravy are ghost words caused by. Let's take a look at these two words. Paragraph number 4, other terms that originated as ghost words but remain in use have come about from mistranslations. Both scapegoat and gravy, these are the words we're focusing on. Do I need to know the meaning of those words? No, that's not important. So I can say both X and Y are two words that enjoy widespread acceptance but originated as translation errors. Of course, guys, you're not going to have the exact same words in the question and in the text. So the question says caused by, and then the text will say originated. For example, the question is going to say mistranslations, A. Here, they're going to say translation errors.
No.
So you're not going to have exact words, you're going to have paraphrased sample of what is written in the text. So translation errors means mistranslations. The answer is A. Let's take a look at number 3. According to paragraph 6, which of the following is a factor that influences the survival of ghost words? Take a look at the choices and then go to paragraph 6. Can you write the letter in the chat box? Write your answer. Okay, most of the answers say D, how long it takes to discover the error. So again, we're talking about the factor that influences survival. Okay, I'm gonna ask one of you. Let me have Fatma. Why did you choose D?
Because in the line 2, he says one is the length of time between the first use of the word and the discovery of the mistake.
Okay, so D is how long it takes to discover the error.
Mm.
Thank you. Did you guys get the answer from that line, or did anyone get it from another part of
I
the
don't
text?
know where is inaccurate, but I think someone of the chooses they said there are some the mistake or error wrong, I think, but I don't know where E or B or C or D. I don't remember where exactly, because they are said after the sixth line here. The factor one is the length of the time between the first use of the word and discovery of the mistake that created the word, such as door, which they discovered relatively soon after they appeared in uh, dictionaries,
Dictionaries.
and generally quickly from removed from use and forgotten. I think it's talking about the error, or there are the like detection mistake, like that. I don't know where exactly.
Okay. If you
I
look
didn't
at
take the screenshot.
If you look at number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a look at line number 5. At the end, it says the. The second factor is how
far
the term spreads before its incorrectness is revealed.
Yes,
So
talking about the error or mistake.
So when we say how far, in the answer we have D, how long. So this is somehow similar. The term spreads before its incorrectness is revealed. So revealed in the in choice D we have discover, and then incorrectness we have error. So the answer is D, how long it takes to discover the error, because here it takes how far the term spreads before its incorrectness is revealed. The answer is D. Okay, so it's not a set reading practice, but because I know you're gonna have a lot of questions, that's why I just showed you how we're going to do it later. Remember, we're going to keep working on the grammar book for now, and maybe 2 weeks later we can start with the Barron's book, and then we can have more practice and more information about reading and how to answer different question types. Okay, until then, remember, next class, please try to have your cameras on. It's always good to see your faces while I'm talking to you. And number 2, let's talk about the time. For now, we're going to have 2 classes every week. That might be changed. This might change later, like 2 weeks later when we start with the Barons, maybe we can make it 3 lessons. But for now, we're gonna have our lessons on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Again, 4 to 6.
Teacher, I have a problem with this time. I have another course.
Sorry?
Yes,
I
with
have
Mr.
another
Abdelbasit. With Mr. Abdelbasit, we have another session at Tuesday. On Tuesday.
On Tuesday, you have it with Abdul
We have a
Basit.
Thursday
Yes.
and Friday both. We have a mathematics.
Okay, next week, when do you have the math classes?
At 12.
At 12 o'clock. And what time do you finish?
At 3.
3. But it's like it's in person. We go to another place. We're not take it online. We don't take it online.
I
I
see.
have a
Sometimes
section.
we are going too early.
Okay. So do you want to make it like 4:30 or 5? Is 5 okay?
My session is at 6 or 5.
Okay.
From 5 to 8
All right, then.
in Turkish language.
Okay, let me check with Mr. Abdul Basit first, and then we're gonna try to find a suitable time. But anyways, I'm gonna let you know on the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
And we're gonna always use this link for now, but again, I'm gonna send you the link 10 minutes before the class. So I'm gonna check with him. So probably tomorrow or after tomorrow, I'm gonna write on the WhatsApp group to tell you what time the class is. Okay?
Sir, I have a decision for the video recordings. So, as you know, when you want to come back and check your informations and watch the video again, watching a video with 3 hours gonna be too long for a person, or like 2 hours either. It's too long, and most of the videos being like talking to between you and some of the students.